His Majesty sends a cable of greetings to Her Excellency the President of the Republic of Greece on the occasion of her country's National Day. The Supreme Committee on COVID-19 activates the medical response, public health, shelter and relief sector and decides to open a bank account for donations. The committee announces the suspension of all domestic and international flights to and from the Sultanate and orders institutional quarantine procedures for citizens and students studying abroad. "18 new cases of COVID-19 are recorded in the Sultanate of Oman. And the Ministry of Commerce and Industry confirms the availability of sufficient stock of food and consumable products in Oman. Those were the headlines. Now for the news in detail. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq sent a cable of greetings to Her Excellency President Ekaterini Sakilaropoulou of the Republic of Greece on the occasion of her country's National Day. The Supreme Committee in charge of discussing the mechanism for dealing with developments resulting from the spread of the coronavirus COVID-19 held a meeting this morning headed by His Excellency Sayyid Hamoud bin Faisal Al Busaidi, Minister of the Interior, and in the presence of all its members at the Ministry of the Interior to monitor the developments of this pandemic, measures to prevent it and ways to avoid its spread. The Supreme Committee has been informed of the preparations of the Sultan's Armed Forces, the Royal Oman Police and other security bodies to support the national effort to deal with this pandemic. In response to the benevolent national initiatives launched by many citizens, private institutions and civil society organizations to contribute to the national efforts to deal with this pandemic and to consolidate the principle of integrating national roles at this stage, it is decided to open a bank account to receive financial donations under the management of the Ministry of Health, and the Ministry will announce the details of this account. In view of the increasing number of cases infected with coronavirus COVID-19 in several places in the Sultanate, it is decided to activate the medical response and public health sector and the relief and shelter sector. The committee also decided to suspend all domestic and international flights to and from the Sultanate's airports starting at 12 noon on Sunday, 29th March 2020, with the exception of flights to and from Musandam Governorate and air cargo. The committee also decided that the relevant authorities should arrange for the return of citizens and students to the Sultanate. The committee directed the competent authorities to provide them with institutional isolation and to use the latest technical means to track offenders who are isolated and quarantined to ensure the virus does not spread. The committee also directed the relevant authorities to allocate places to wash the dead in all wilayas and to deal with each body according to the requirements of the risk of infection. The committee calls on all members of society and institutions to adhere to the precautionary and preventive measures to limit the spread of the coronavirus COVID-19 and stresses the risks of gatherings in general, including those at homes. In a statement, the Ministry of Health announced that it registered 18 new cases of coronavirus COVID-19 virus infection for citizens. 11 of them were related to contacts with infected patients and 5 cases related to travel to Britain and the UAE, while 2 cases were subject to epidemiological investigation. The total number of cases recorded in the Sultanate now is 84. The ministry confirmed that 17 cases had been recovered. It calls on all to strictly adhere to the quarantine procedures in a separate room and toilet as directed. It also called on all citizens and residents to constantly clean hands with water and soap, avoid touching the face, nose, mouth and eyes, and follow hygienic habits when sneezing and coughing. and strictly adhere to the social distancing instructions issued by the Supreme Committee and the Ministry of Health. The amendments on the law on communicable disease control include the following. Whoever does not report a communicable disease shall be sentenced to imprisonment for a period not less than 3 months, and not exceeding 1 year, and a fine not less than 1,000 Omani riyals, and not exceeding 10,000 Omani riyals, or either one of the two sentences. If a custodial sentence is made against a foreigner, the judgment must include deportation from the country. And individuals infected with a communicable disease shall be entitled to health care and treatment in government treatment facilities as per the rules and procedures determined by the Ministry of Health. All data and information regarding the person infected with communicable diseases listed in the law shall be confidential. It may not be disclosed unless under the circumstances set forth by the law or by a written consent from him. The concerned health doctor must provide the necessary consultation to the person with one of the communicable diseases attached in the law, inform him about the nature of his disease, mode of transmission, and introduce him methods and guidelines to be followed to minimize the spread of the infection to another person. The Public Authority for Stores and Food Reserves confirmed that it follows the movement of international prices for basic food commodities and monitors any abnormal movement in the indicators of those prices, which are mainly related to global production and consumption rates, the movement of commercial freight and net global stocks. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Commerce and Industry confirmed the continued availability of food, consumer and other commodities in all centers and commercial centers in the Sultanate. The ministry clarified the presence of its employees concerned with following up commodities in all commercial centers in the governorates of the Sultanate and monitoring the purchasing movement and prices in cooperation with other parties. The Ministry of Manpower has called on employers and private sector companies and institutions to direct their expatriate workforce to remain in their places of residence after working hours and on weekends and holidays, and not to go to public places and markets except for this extreme necessity, stressing the need to stop labor gatherings in any way, noting that legal action will be taken regarding those found to be in breach. Work is underway to publish these directives in various languages to reach all the employment in the Sultanate to apply the highest precautionary standards to reduce the effect of the new coronavirus effect. The ministry clarified the necessity for employees of private sector institutions and companies to adhere to and strictly adhere to the procedures of domestic quarantine, and business owners should not call them to work during the period of home quarantine. The Statistical Center of the Gulf Cooperation Council countries launched a platform on its website to follow up the developments of the spread of the emerging coronavirus in the GCC countries through the continuous update of the number of cases and the development of their status. The platform provides a unified number for all countries of the Gulf Cooperation Council on the numbers of cases of injuries, recovery and death of the emerging coronavirus. It also provides separate statistics for each country of the Cooperation Council separately. It connects the platform with the world through one international database that continuously updates the numbers. Establishing the Endowment Fund to support health services activities and programs in the Sultanate. This came during a decision issued by His Excellency Sheikh Abdullah bin Muhammad Al-Salmi, Minister of Endowments and Religious Affairs. The decision stipulates that the fund adheres to the legal provisions in all of its actions and the laws and regulations in force regarding endowment funds. The fund is subject to the supervision and control of the Ministry of Endowments and Religious Affairs in examining its work. The fund aims to achieve social solidarity and responsibility towards the health of the individual and the community, and to find diverse and different sources to support health services and enhance the health of the individual and society. By investing the fund and the returns on its investments to finance treatment, establishing and operating hospitals and health centers, and purchasing and maintaining medicines and necessary medical equipment, and support medical research and others. This is in addition to managing and investing the fund's money, developing it, maintaining its sustainability, and increasing its revenues. It may, for this purpose, invest in real estate, industrial, agricultural, and other fields in accordance with the provisions of Islamic Sharia in the endowment investment. The global coronavirus pandemic today forced Japan to abandon its dream of hosting the Olympics this year as the world battled to hold the disease by putting almost 2 billion people under lockdown. According to an AFP tally compiled today from official sources, COVID-19 has now infected almost 390,000 people worldwide, including more than 200,000 in Europe alone, and killed nearly 17,000 of them since the outbreak began. The UN rights chief called today for any sanctions imposed on countries like Iran facing the new coronavirus pandemic to be re-evaluated to avoid pushing strained medical systems into collapse. Michelle Bachelet said at this crucial time, both for global public health reasons and to support the rights and lives of millions of people in these countries, sectoral sanctions should be eased or suspended. Egypt will impose a 2-week nightly curfew in the Arab world's most populous country in an effort to stop the spread of the new coronavirus, as the International Monetary Fund warned that a shortage of medical supplies could affect the Mideast's poorest nations. There are over 31,000 confirmed cases of the virus across the Mideast. Meanwhile, Spain recorded its sharpest daily increase in coronavirus cases today, with infections rising among health workers, while funeral vans began arriving at Madrid's ice rink, hastily transformed it into a makeshift morgue. The health ministry reported around 6,600 new cases and 500 deaths overnight, with nearly 40,000 cases and 2,696 deaths. Spain is Europe's worst hit country after Italy. German Chancellor Angela Merkel's cabinet agreed a package worth over 750 billion euros to mitigate the direct impact of the pandemic, with the government aiming to take on new debt for the first time since 2013. This is the Sultanate of Oman Television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. His Majesty sends a cable of greetings to Her Excellency the President of the Republic of Greece on the occasion of her country's National Day. The Supreme Committee on COVID-19 activates the medical response, public health, shelter and relief sector and decides to open a bank account for donations. The committee announces the suspension of all domestic and international flights to and from the Sultanate and orders institutional quarantine procedures for citizens and students studying abroad. 18 new cases of COVID-19 are recorded in the Sultanate of Oman. And the Ministry of Commerce and Industry confirms the availability of sufficient stock of food and consumable products in Oman. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studios, it's good night.
المرضى أو المحجورين بعد انقضاء فترة الشفاء أو الحجر الصحي أصحاء غير ناقلين للعدوى.
स्वास्थ्य मंत्रालय नागरिकों और निवासियों से आग्रह करता है कि वे संगरोध और अलगाव के अधीन है, अपने घरों से बाहर न जाएं, अपनी सुरक्षा के लिए और संक्रामक कोरोना वायरस कोविड-19 से अपने परिवारों और समुदाय की रक्षा करने के लिए स्वास्थ्य मंत्रालय भी नागरिकों और निवासियों से लंबे सप्ताहांत के दौरान घर में रहने का आह्वान करते हैं।
يوم يفتحين وتلاقي فوق راسه كورة، ما عنده وقت حتى ياخذ معانا صورة. حر عرق يحلم في العالمية، قلبت الياقة صفرة مقلية، بما حقتني أنا أكسر رؤوس، وهل الياقة عندي أنت دوس. لما الحياة تغلبني تايد يوقف جنبي.
تايد بالتركيبة الجديدة يشيل أصعب البقع حتى الياقة والأكمام لأنصع نظافة.
تايد في الغسيل ما في مستحيل.
سمنة الأطفال مشكلة عصرية متنامية وظاهرة تعاني منها كل دول العالم. الأرقام المسجلة مرعبة، تؤكد أننا أمام مشكلة حقيقية تهدد الحياة الصحية للأطفال. سمنة الأطفال تعرف على أنها اضطراب يؤثر على الأطفال والمراهقين نتيجة تراكم كميات من الدهون في أجسامهم، مما يؤدي إلى زيادة الوزن عن المعدل الطبيعي الذي يتناسب مع عمر الطفل وطوله. أرقام منظمة الصحة العالمية مرعبة حول عدد الأطفال المصابين بالسمنة، حيث تشير إحصائيات عام 2008 إلى أن عدد الأطفال المصابين بالسمنة تحت سن الخامسة بلغ أكثر من 22 مليون طفل حول العالم. في المجمل هناك أكثر من 42 مليون طفل حول العالم يعانون من فرط الوزن حسب إحصائيات عام 2010. ومن الأسباب التي تؤدي إلى إصابة الطفل بالسمنة تناول الوجبات السريعة والطعام الغير صحي بشكل عام، كالعصائر السكرية والمشروبات الغازية والحلويات ورقائق البطاطس. قلة ممارسة الرياضة والأعمال التي تحتاج إلى نشاط حركي. العوامل الجينية والاضطرابات الهرمونية. التاريخ المرضي للعائلة. التعرض للضغوط النفسية. قلة النوم، فعدم أخذ الطفل قسطاً كافياً من النوم أثناء الليل يؤدي إلى إصابته بالسمنة. إذا كانت العمليات الجراحية كربط وقص المعدة ممكنة للبالغين، فإنه لا يمكن إجراؤها على الأطفال دون سن 18 عاماً، وبالتالي فإن الوقاية من السمنة هو الحل الأمثل، لأن التخلص منها قد يكون أكثر صعوبة. السمنة ليست مجرد مرض، فكل من يعانون من السمنة يعانون من أمراض أخرى خطيرة، ومن أهم الأمراض التي تكون مصاحبة للسمنة عند الأطفال المصابين بها الربو، ارتفاع ضغط الدم، السكري، اضطراب النوم، عدم القدرة على التنفس بشكل طبيعي، مشكلات نفسية بسبب سخرية الآخرين منه في الغالب. النظام الغذائي الذي تتبعه الأسرة قد يكون أحد أهم الأسباب المسؤولة عن حالة الطفل الصحية ومعاناته مع السمنة، وبالتالي فإن على الوالدين اتباع بعض الخطوات التي يمكن أن تحد من خطر السمنة. من هذه الخطوات: الاهتمام العائلي، الدعم النفسي للطفل، قلل من شراء وتناول المشروبات الغازية، تناول وجبتك مع طفلك على مائدة واحدة، فاحرص على تجنب الأطعمة المسببة للسمنة، ومارس الرياضة بشكل يومي حتى تنعم بصحة جيدة.